Look at that, it is snowing! What's up, guys? Spartan51 here. Today, on the agenda, I think we're going to try and build some sort of storage unit. Off to the right here, maybe we'll cut back into the mountain some more, in which case we've got to do a lot of digging. But we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. I know that this will be the first video popping up on YouTube for this series, quote-unquote. This is Homestead Minecraft. This will be my second go-round of it. I did build this first section as a single house. I actually have some pictures. I have the camera as a reward from a quest item. But I have the camera, and I can show you guys this first section. I actually didn't have these windows here. And then we additionally built this greenhouse off to the side. I want to build a storage unit because, as you can see, I've got these chests here. Oop. And then in here is an absolute mess. So this is our greenhouse. I do want to change the floor. I just want to put some moss in here. I want to change some of these overhang pieces. And then down here, I want to put brewery items. I got a bunch of wine and beer that I want to put down there, along with all these cellar items. It's like this wine rack, the counters, yeah, bottle storage, all those things. I want to put them down in the basement. And then I also was thinking of putting mushrooms down in the basement. For anyone who is unfamiliar with Homestead, Homestead is a mod pack. The creator also makes videos. His name is Tokimi. But the pack itself gives you all of these quests, but they correlate to certain mods. So like the tiny corner, the tidy quarters, goodness, is linked to Tom's storage. Portable life, just basic is backpack mod, herbal hexes. I have not touched any of this, so I have no idea what any of this does. But the liquid courage, that's where a lot of these beers come from. And then vines and vintage. I don't know if they're attached to the same mod, but this is all wines, and then you can grow grapes, and there's presses, lattices, things like that to just foster those two things. Cogs and Whimsy is all create. I have not touched create at all. I have no idea how create works. I'm aware that you need these goggles, the wrench, and super glue is extremely important, and andesite is the backbone of the economy. But other than that, I don't know damn near anything about create. I've seen a few videos, but other than that, this roots run deep are the plushies. A lot of this is just basic decor stuff, harvesting different items, loot goblins. Okay. Open chests. Yeah. Smelting. Right? Yeah, smelting 25,000 stone. Mining glove. Alright. But yeah, so that's what these are. Echoes in the Void. Obviously, that's end stuff. The Deep Dark Secrets is tied to the end, or not the end, the ancient cities. So you can use these void hearts to light the portal, and then you can get, is it here? No. But you can make tools out of this warden stuff, I believe. So that's some of that. The Forged Fable, again, I don't know all of the mods that these are attached to, but it's ruby, topaz, peridot. Okay, so that's just making all the items. Um, aquamarine, sapphire, and ametrine. There's jade down here. But these things like spawn as geodes. So, just like you'd find an amethyst geode, you'd find peridot and aquamarine, I believe. Or you'd find aquamarine like by the ocean. You'd find peridot underground. And then topaz. Does this one say? Yeah, so I'm assuming topaz and ruby are in the nether. And then I'm pretty sure sapphire. I know this the ametrine, and I think jade are actually in the end. But that's where you can find this stuff, the Nicoium, I think is how you say that. But all of these things, it's just different quests to complete, and it can be simple things like finding these plush toys, in like dungeons and different generations. And some of the different generations actually is why I have all these villagers over there. I originally found one of those conversion huts. It's like right over there. But I dug down. I was just trying to dig a little cave. I dug down right there, and there is a little village. Let's see. But yeah, there was a little village down underneath me that I didn't even notice. So once I broke into it, and it became nighttime because I have, 2 beds in my house, all of them came up here trying to get to the beds. So I put down a bunch of job blocks, boxed them all in, and this is actually the second time I've done this. Originally, I actually did have a single block for a way in, and a zombie got in there and killed them all. So I had to. They were like scattered all across the mountain and stuff. So I went over and just picked them all up and put them back in, or like the next round of people. So these trades aren't as good as they could be, but I just rolled with the punches and kept on going. But yeah, so like I said, I spent time putting this together. I did record all of it. I have been all the way over here. I've designated this to be my mining camp. That's Y level 65, so let's go ahead and line it up here. But so I dug underneath that. I dug straight down. Let's go. Oh shit. But yeah, so I dug down. I actually popped out right about here, and I saw this on the map, and I popped into there, and I think it's a skeleton crypt is what it's called. Ooh, what is that? I wonder if this is a dripstone cave by chance. But I went through. I did want to go venture through like some of this. But no, I went down, came into here, and I came across into this. I do believe I might have come over here. I don't remember if I did or not. But that's why like some of this stuff is lit up. Like this is lit up because of the lava. But some of these like darker sections, you know, like stuff around this, you can see I did cut around this way. The skeleton crypt gave me a whole lot of enchanted books and like these bows, and as you can see I've got 2 mending and then some punch bows and this one flame one. I did get, yeah, I've got a silk touch book. I think I've got a mending in here too. Oh yeah, deep fry to cook fish whenever you reel them in. Yeah, smite 5, sharpness 5, vein mining. Yeah, so I got 1 mending book. Like I said, the silk touch. There's some good stuff and some garbage. But other than that, you know, like I've spent a couple days. You know, well, I say like a couple days. It's been like, oh, I don't know, 7, 8 hours into this world, just mining, gathering resources, and all that, just to work on this build and make this world really mine. Sorry, excuse me. But like I said, today I kind of want to work on storage unit for this, and I'm thinking we go off to the right here, since there'll be less to clean or less to clear out. Let me fix my map real quick. Oh yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Under our mountain here, we've got 2 ancient cities, and then there's 4 more right here. You can tell. I know that these have the portal here in the center. This one's here. They're always indicated by like these green patches. It's like where the main portal is. But yeah, so we've got technically a giant one, 2 adjacent to that, and then 2 next to us. But I originally I did dig down pretty damn far underneath this, like underneath our mountain. However, I realized that because all of this is deep dark, you know, it's all covered in skulk, so I can't really hardly see anything. Which is why I came over here into this, you know, area, is because there's these large caverns and some, you know, long squirrely ones. But I need to break into this one here, and this one to actually take a look. Ooh, scorching caves. These are cool because you can get like ash vents, stuff like that. I don't. Come on, load. I'm not seeing much in the way of redstone caves. That's another like cave biome that's been added to this mod pack. But yeah, so I will dig out this little patch right here. I might fill in these holes, but I'll dig this out and I will bring you guys back in after that. Alright guys, welcome back. Change of plans. I am going to put together our first diamond pickaxe, and I'm gonna use some of these books. Another quirk about the Homestead stuff, if you guys don't know. So your ores, not all of them, but like diamonds, emeralds, rubies, rubies, redstone, lapis, I believe, will a lot of the time come out as a rough diamond. And in order to not make it a rough diamond, you need the diamond grindstone. And you can just right click it, and then you turn it into the normal equivalent. But in order to make that the grindstone, you need 2 of the shards in order to actually, make that first. It's another way to get XP. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of nice. But our first diamond pickaxe. Then we're gonna take that, put the mending on it. Vein mining. Silk touch. Oh, there goes our anvil. It's a good thing I got some more. I got those anvils from that the same place we got all these books. So we did clear this area. We're probably, this amount of storage will probably be fine. I'm actually going to need to come out one more with this. You'll kind of see, it'll kind of give you a layout of what I kind of want to do. It'll essentially be like the exact same thing as the greenhouse, just mirrored over here. I don't think I'm going to use the glass as much as I kind of want to, because I really do like this orange glass look. I want to be able to put chests in here instead of like these grow beds that I've got in here and stuff. So I want to be able to, stack chests up really high, and we'll put, another set of doors there, so all these chests, all these cabinets hopefully can get shoved into that. Like I said, just over here. I'm gonna grab some spruce. And then I've been doing 5 on this, just to kind of break up the main body. Damn, I gotta go one more. Okay. I almost want to keep it the same way here, but I know it's not going to be what I'm going to call a realistic amount of storage is the problem. Because that greenhouse, I wanted to put, all of our greenery, all of our crops inside, and it's just not going to be accommodating enough. So I don't really know if that's a good idea. It's kind of why I'm tempted just to leave this, being what it is, and then, instead of it, like I said, tapering down off the side here. If it's not symmetrical, it's going to kill me. I also kind of wanted to do a second story on that one, like up on this, which obviously we don't have here, but I was thinking once we extend this out, we make a second story and we line it up with this here, because that still gives us a lot of headroom. But then also, if we don't fully put a floor in, but if we leave out the 2 wide here and we just keep the, like we do top half slabs or we do stairs around the edge and then a single row of slabs, that'll keep the window open, and we can still see the window from, right here. But then we can, just carry it on. Might be able to actually just stop it there, or we can, take 2 of the windows out. Take 2 of the windows out and put, you know, more of these. This is gravel, by the way. Gravel bricks from Twigs and the supplementaries. I really like the way they look. I like that it's a lighter piece, but I'm really kind of fucking with the two-story business. So I'm gonna build these up. I'm not gonna take you guys with me for that, just because I feel like that'd be kind of boring. I'm gonna be focusing a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of breathing, buts, and ums attached to that because my brain is gonna be connected to my mouth. So I will jump back in if there's any sort of interesting progress. Otherwise, I'm just gonna leave you guys here. So I'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, guys. Sorry that, well, I mean, I know for you it's no time at all, but that took me a little bit of time. But yeah, so we got the frame up. We are going to keep it one height all the way consistent. And we've got this wall opened up. Because originally, you know, this archway wasn't here. It was just a straight flat roof like this, so I had to build that. And then obviously we got the rest of the struts up. We're going to knock out that cobblestone and replace it with these gravel brick stairs once we're closer to being done. But just for right now, we're going to leave it like that. I got to make, well, for one, I have to get a bunch more spruce because I have to make all kinds of slabs. I'm thinking we might fill in like this gap here, you know, and the secondary gap up with the orange glass, just to kind of use that glass up that I had extra from the greenhouse. I'm not entirely sure, but this is all the spruce that I have remaining. I'm pretty damn sure. Burned through 2 axes just stripping the wood. But yeah, so we'll go over here, get some spruce going, and maybe yap for a little bit. If you're at all listening to this, then tell me how your day is. Jump down in the comments and just tell me what's on your mind. You know, it doesn't have to be something super serious, or, you know, you can tell me, oh, Jesus. Okay. You know, if you work, tell me what you do. If you're in school, tell me, you know, like, favorite subject, or, you know, something simple like that. You know, if you're in college, tell me what your major is, what your minor is, things like that. You know, I do work full time. I'm in my 20s. I work full time, and you know, I'm blue collar. If you couldn't tell, I'm not exactly the highest educated man. I do have a technical degree. It's a technical certificate. It's not a degree. In construction technology is the official title. Hell yeah. Love that vein mining. But I can, you know, build houses. You know, if you've got curiosity about that, like if you want to get into a trade, then I definitely think construction is a good, consistent one. I can't really say much on like plumbing, electrician. My father was an HVAC and electrician guy. My stepdad is actually a master electrician. So, blue collar stuff has just kind of been, you know, my in my family. My mom, you know, same kind of field. She actually works for like an insurance company that works for like construction companies specifically. So, you know, blue collar was just kind of in my blood. If you want to know a little more specifically about what I do, I'm a heavy equipment operator. So I run bulldozers. I haven't really played around much with excavators, but 8-wheel tractors, you know, Challengers, John Deeres, I can run blades, 14Hs and Ms. So either joysticks or levers. I've run 631 scrapers. I've never run twin engine, but I've done a lot. You know, skid steer, loader. What else is there? I've run sheep's foot, an 8 1/4, 825K, smooth drum. You know, I've done a lot, and I've only been doing it for coming up on 4 5 years, I think. I don't know. It's time is such a blur, but that's what I do for a living. It's not much, but it's honest work, you know, as the old adage goes. But I do like my job, so I don't necessarily see myself changing career paths anytime soon. Beats the hell out of my body, but there's just something about, you know, being a little kid and enjoying watching the big machine move dirt, and now you drive machine that move big dirt, and it's, you know, it's such a simple thing. I know on TikTok there was that kind of joke about the scoop to dirt, throw to dirt, and that is literally my job. So it's it's not hard. Don't let anyone, like any of the blue collar stuff that you see people messing around on job sites doing dumb shit with each other. That is that's what most of my day consists of. It's like 70%. The last 30% is actually focusing on my job. Otherwise, I just harass and berate my coworkers as they do the same thing to me. You know, like I was saying, I do have technical skills. Um, you know, with my hands for a while, I did. Can I? Oh, this is how you get the different planks. No, I'm just doing this as, you know, like for the love of the game, really. Um, I used to do some metal work, and I do have some carpentry skills. I was a stagehand. I was a theater nerd, you know, in high school, so I can honestly say that I I really do enjoy working with my hands, which is why I ended up going blue collar anyway. Part of me wanted to become a teacher or a doctor when I was little. However, I am garbage at taking tests. And I think a lot of that is the fact that I have the ADHD curse that so many people also share. But I just, I can't do schooling. My partner went to, you know, like a larger university, and I would join them in a class or two every now and again, just to, you know, like kind of sit through the class. Some of them I couldn't because the teacher would notice. Other ones didn't even care. But you know, for every chance that I got to sit in and watch people do their stuff and just kind of lurk in the shadows of a college class, I very quickly decided that it wasn't for me, and I was gonna have to take what is it? I know like your first year you take gen eds, you know, your general educations class. I gotta make those first. Um, I know you have to make, or you have to take gen eds, and I I would be one of the people that alongside my gen eds, I would have needed to make, or not make, I would have needed to take, there's the classes that you would take, in addition to your gen eds, the like college readiness courses. I really don't know the name, but I think that's close. I would need to take those in addition to the gen eds in order to even be close to quote unquote college ready, and earning my way into a major. And I'm just not. I guess I should say that I am capable of, and I am smart enough because I don't want to, tear myself down too much. Because I'm not an idiot. I like to think anyway. Uh, I just, I'm just not able to like go to a 4-year university and complete a course and get a degree at like in like time that they would want you to, which makes me a little sad. Um, I take myself for um, a learned person, but it's just not something that I think is in the cards for me. And like I said, it kind of makes me sad, but I'm not too heartbroken about it. It's just kind of, you know, life goes on. So, I literally am just doing this for fun. I don't see this going anywhere. As I said, this is, I think, like the 7th video that might get uploaded onto the channel. But uh, I don't have a base at all. I don't have any sort of consistent viewership. But if even if nobody watched these, I would keep making them just for myself because I need that creative hobby, and I think that everybody needs one, whether it be, a sort of physical activity, whether it be like gym, like working out, or maybe you're an artist, so you want to draw. Maybe you're into like drawing actual paintings. Maybe you're an artist in the way of, using what do they call that? Uh, I want to say Wattpad, but that is absolutely incorrect. Um, um, but people use drawing pads to do digital stuff, and maybe you want to, be an artist or a tattoo artist or things like that. And sometimes it's nice to find hobbies that coincide with, what you want to do in life. And unfortunately for me, there's not very many hobbies that coincide or correspond with driving, the iron that we do. And like I am kind of mechanically inclined, but I am by no means like a heavy equipment mechanic. And I couldn't tell you the first step of putting together, any sort of engine. I couldn't put any of that kind of stuff together. I have replaced ball joints in my truck. I have, changed brakes, my own tires, but I hate that. It was cool because I was learning something, but that was about the only benefit that job kind of had. I worked for a company that allowed me to use their lifts because they had a shop that they worked on all their own, like service vehicles with, and so that's when I started to learn a lot of that stuff because it's cheaper. And who Lord, that was a bad job, but it was a cool benefit. Like I said, just because I got to learn some of that stuff. So, um, But no, I think it's beneficial to the human mind to have hobbies. I think it's um, almost a necessity, you know, just to keep things going. Ooh, how did I do this? Okay, so let's stay there. Yeah, because I did this, and then planks, please. Do that. Those, and then alright. Come back one. All the way down. Man, we were so close. But no, man, do stuff that that you want. Do stuff for fun, man. I don't agree with hustle culture. Just as a little bit of more lore on my behalf. I think hustle culture, trying to turn all of your hobbies or all of your time needs to be spent making money. I don't really think that that's healthy, and that might be like an L boomer take or whatever. But uh, I think that people need to take time to love themselves and love the things that they do. But I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about tangent wise. So I'm going to cut here. I'm going to work on these walls. I'm going to get the glass in and we'll finish the shell, maybe put in the floor, but I will box this in and I will bring you guys back for that. So, see you in a second. And we're back. We got the exterior finished, we got the glass in, got the floor in. Let's go inside. Yeah. Well, it's just a flat, polished deep slate floor for right now. But I will probably change this in the future. And then we will get the second floor knocked in. Like I said, I kind of want to have it wrap around to be the inside here, connect up to this, and eventually we'll be knocking this wall in to go backwards some. I don't really want to do much of that until I get efficiency stuff going, just because that's going to take a long time. I would wait till I have a beacon, but I feel like we're a long way off from that. I did want to kind of take things a little slower in this series. I am going to call it HumbleCraft. I know you can probably tell by the title, but that's what we're going to call it, and we're going to take things nice and slow. I did make this mason table here just to kind of see what options I would have with the deep slate, but then I realized that I'd have to sit and smelt the deep slate in a normal deep slate, like the cobbled deep slate, into just flat deep slate, and I didn't really want to sit and wait for that. Not this go around. So I'll probably set some of that stuff to smelt, just an off time, and like I said, I'll probably get this floor done at some point. I'm thinking I do like the deep slate look, so we might do that in here. But I'm kind of thinking, the next step, obviously we'll get everything moved into there. I don't know how much organization we'll do, but I'm thinking I want to get this stuff done. That way the greenhouse like area is kind of finished. So either in the next one that I do some recording, we'll either do the second floor. We'll probably get some stairs in here. I don't want to just slap a ladder on the end and call it a day. That kind of feels like the cheap answer. So I either want to get some stairs built in here, or the big project, is knocking this out. So we might make an enchanting table to get some efficiency to do that. So I might make the enchanting table, and whether or not it gets efficiency, obviously we'll do that on camera just to have that recorded. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Yeah, we'll go ahead and check the quest book, see what that is, see what we've got. Take the camera. Need a piece of paper for the picture. No, I saw it. Got our album. But yeah, so this was at the end of the first day. I know they're grainy, but so we had our little crafting set up there, our bed, crafting table, the single barrel of storage that I had. And this was before the villagers, and this was before I dug down in that tunnel down there and freed them. But so this was on the 14th. This was Valentine's Day. And after that, this was the next day. This was the 15th. So, we had our villagers, we dug our little tunnel and actually moved in. You see our furnaces in there. But, yeah, and then we built our little greenhouse, and you can't see anything inside of it, and that's because I hadn't built the interior yet. But, so now, we'll take our picture of the expanded base. I'm loving the camera feature, just to be able to take snapshots. Like I said, the asymmetry of it will probably bother the hell out of me, but we're gonna, and then we can just take this, and we've got 3 pages worth, so we'll fit 12 per page, so that's 36, I believe. Yeah. And whenever we need to, we can make another album if we eventually get to that. It's slow progress, just the way I wanted to kind of do it. Whenever we build the inside, like, second story, we might put a balcony on the front right here underneath our peak. But I'm not too sure yet. But I'm loving the way this is coming along. When I built the greenhouse, I was really proud of it, and I still am. As a builder, it's hard for me because I'm not like a hermit crafter. I'm not B-dubs. I'm not Impulse, Gemini. I don't do things to that scale, but I'm loving the space so far. I know spruce is pretty standard, but this patchwork style is really, really doing it for me. So, like I said, I'm just really proud of the way that that's coming along. Let's check these out. Masonry table. I don't really care much for any of these other than maybe the lodestones. And I got the bird shit block, damn it. Yeah, so this was for our gold backpack. You make the normal one, and then you can wrap it in iron to get the iron one, wrap it in gold for the gold one, and then the diamond, it's the same thing. Then eventually you can get the netherite one. We might make some of these base upgrades because sometimes it's nice to have this crafting upgrade along with the stack ones. That way you can have larger than a stack of 64 in your backpack. You know, so you can go up to, 128, and then it's 256, I think. I don't know what the total is. Lush cave biome, get some glowberries, and a moss bloom spawn egg. I've got 2 of those in the other world that I had. I never spawned them though. So what do we do on this one? Using a crafting table. Oh, look at that. So we can go into our backpack. And then we can slap that on the side. And then if we need to, we can just craft in our backpack. So we don't need to carry a crafting table with us anymore. Or, worry about making one. But yeah, that'll be really useful. I'm glad we don't have to make that. Not that they're hard to make, but anyway, guys, this will be it for this one. Again, I'm Spartan51. I hope you guys are having a good one, and thanks for watching if you stuck around, and always remember to play what you love and love what you play.